few minutes to eat when it comes in.
We can do that too.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is a Changeling the Dreaming scene for Living World of Darkness, in which our characters are attending a funeral. It's been about a month or so since the Baroness was killed, quite publicly, and it's been very, very quiet. There's been rumblings and rumors about who is going to take over the barony. Nothing's been quite confirmed yet either way. But one day, somehow, you each receive an invitation to the wake of the Baroness Iana of House Fiona, called Iana the Golden. It is going to be held at the Palace of the Count, as that's where she was killed, in the gardens, which some of you know to actually exist within the Dreaming. The trods are going to be open, and you will be allowed in. Everyone in the entire county has been invited, and all are welcome. When you arrive, start telling me what you begin to do, and I can describe the scene.
Can Misha kind of show up with Maxine, maybe?
Of course.
Does that work for you, Maxine?
It does.
Okay. Yeah, well, I suppose Misha would kind of wander in, pretty much kind of move to the side of the door. First of all, gauging where the food and the drinks are, because that's the real reason she's coming.
Go ahead. When you enter there, laid out kind of like Snow White meets Ophelia, is the body of the Baroness Iana. But what's strange is you can still see her famine. For those of you that want to roll intelligence Greymare, you might get some information on how that's possible.
I'll try.
Sure. Let me look that up.
Yeah, pretty much. You said intelligence, Grimare?
Mm-hmm.
Where's my Grimare? I kind of don't think I have a lot. Hey, I do not. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I got a 10.
You know it's some sort of fairy magic. Which kind, you're not 100% sure. But you do know it's some kind of illusion magic.
Okay.
And when you really stare at it, you notice that it's... You know how changelings get double vision, where they can see the human and the famine?
Yeah.
This is like literally the famine overlaid, and you can't really see her human mane beneath it. So it's kind of like this weird preservation illusion magic, which is a little disconcerting and creepy.
It kind of is, but at the same time, considering this is a Fae wake, it makes sense. So this is the kind of... So basically that's like immediately and as soon as you walk in?
Well, you walk into the palace and, like, you know, squires and pages... yes, it does. Creative does apply, Tim. Lead you to the gardens, and immediately when you enter into the archway, which you can feel that transition into the Dreaming, when you enter there, you see the body displayed. Past that is a bar and table set up with all various assortments of food.
Okay. Well, Misha will watch the people who came in ahead of her and see what they do, but she's guessing that we might need to walk up and at least pay some kind of respects before heading to the other part. And she doesn't want to stand out, so she wants to see if that's what they're doing.
You see some people doing it, others don't. You know, her knight, Sir Carol of Elunid, is already here, and he is sitting down, just staring at the body. His squire next to him, very quiet.
Oh, she's seen Sir Carol before.
Maxine is going to keep whoever is around between her and Sir Carol. So
Misha
at the
doesn't
moment,
care.
Misha.
That's fine. Misha will happily do that for you. Because frankly, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, yeah, so she'll kind of look at her and just be like, I think, are we supposed to walk up there? Maybe just for a second and then go?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't want to overstare, welcome there, start being weird, lick the body, that sort of thing. So yeah, just
Okay,
going
no,
up and
I'm only gonna lick a
fingers-
rabbit. Only rabbits.
okay, well, now I feel special. So yeah, respect's probably the best way to go.
Right. So I guess they're both kind of with Misha between apparently being somehow shoved between Carol and and Maxine. They're gonna walk up for just a second and kind of, I guess, do the bend of the head, close the eyes kind of thing, and then move on after like 30 seconds.
Very short respects.
But respects were made.
Indeed.
No insult has been made here.
Not yet.
Not yet. Probably go up and get something to drink.
I'm guessing
And
that means I'm already. Sorry, never mind. Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
I'm guessing that means I'm already with Carol then, as if I'm the squire sitting next to him. So Charles has probably already paid his respects to her, in which basically he actually walked up to the body and like actually bent down to it, and just out of sight here seemed to have maybe whispered something.
I will be right back. One moment.
Some unspoken promise into its ear, and kissed. And after whatever it is he said was done, kisses her cheek very, very chastely before sitting back down with Carol.
As a good way for Dessa and Maneva to segue into this, is it cool to that they at least saw Charles do the kiss?
I'm fine with that. Go ahead.
Awesome. Maneva's gonna lean into next to Dessa and ask, it's generally pretty fucking form to kiss a dead body, right? Like, I shouldn't do that. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't do that.
If you were in service to her, it could be seen as a sign of respect. You're not in service to her, so I generally wouldn't recommend it.
All right, cool. I don't know how any of this shit works. Thank you.
And if we see you guys, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, if we see you guys are coming in, like Misha will kind of wave over to the two of them.
Dessa's gonna go up to the body before she heads over to Misha and Maxine.
Yeah, fair.
Maneva will wave back to Misha at the very least.
And when she stands at the body, softly even for Asua, she was going to say, "May the afterlife you seek ferry you quickly and safely, that you may journey on in the memories of those who still survive."
Okay, so we have who all is there right now? Who hasn't arrived yet?
I have not. I wanted to ask who the Baroness's next of kin was.
You can see Afterglow. That's another show I was doing. This weekend, everyone.
In terms of her mortal family, that's never really been discussed. Her squire has retired to Queen Mab's court because Queen Mab and her were very close friends.
Okay, so is there like a person at the head of the wake, someone who like sent these invitations and is like running the thing?
Most likely the Count.
Okay. So Amber's going to arrive. She's wearing a very simple black dress. She does have on her fox armband, and she's carrying a wrapped bottle of wine. She's going to, I'm assuming she doesn't see the Count, right?
I mean,
He wouldn't just be.
he is there, but this is a remarkably important situation.
Right. So she's going to go up to the bar first and give the bartender the very nice bottle and say, this is for the family.
How kind of you, my dear. It's an older male boggin. He gingerly takes the bottle from you and kind of wipes it down and sits it behind the bar.
Gives just like a nod, and we'll go over because she sees Charles, even though he's next to a not so savory character. That's who she's making a beeline for first.
Okay.
I just want to throw this out. Sorry to interrupt y'all. Minerva doesn't really know what to do in the situation where she's in front of the body, but what she'll do is she'll basically make a finger gun, almost aim at a finger gun, like she's shaping her fingers into a gun.
Got it.
And what she does is she aims that slightly off into the air. She doesn't actually, of course, nothing actually fires when she pulls her trigger, which is the thumb. But she does that 21 times, very quickly.
When you do that, like by the end of it, you notice a young man, 17 or 18, standing next to you. What was that for?
Oh, sorry. When a soldier falls, you do a 21 gun salute.
Oh.
I didn't have an actual gun, so I did my best to approximate.
He moves a little closer to you, so he's now less in your periphery vision and more like you can actually see him, and you realize that it's the son of the Count, Sebastian. That's really interesting.
She bows to him. Out of character, would the son of a count be called Your Excellency as a count would?
It depends on if he is a count himself. He is not. He is a baron.
Okay, I'll be safe then. I'll say, oh, well, thank you, my lord. I just wanted to pay my respects in the best way that I knew how. I'm not the best at more courtly things, but
he nods a little and goes, "None of us were expecting this to happen, least of all myself. I appreciate you coming. I know my father appreciates it too."
Yes.
Did you know the Baroness?
No.
Neither did I. At least not very well. Well, thank you for coming. And he inclines his head to you and wanders off to the food table.
As he wanders off, Minerva will wander off, catching up with Dessa, wherever she's going.
Towards the ears.
Wait, towards the what?
The ears. The jackrabbit ears that are sticking up. So you kind of always know where she's at.
Okay.
Do have
as y'all are moving, more people start to arrive, and in one unified group, the entirety of the Hamner clan arrives. The
what clan?
The Hamners are the Autumn Scathach who rule Queens.
Ah.
One of the Hamners is a knight to the Count himself, but by and large, they work as a unit, and they arrive as one as well. And they look not particularly pleased to be here.
That's really loud.
Pardon?
Sorry, that was really loud in my ears.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. Where is my silverware? Ugh. So what's everyone doing now?
Naked boys singing. I want to see that.
I guess Alice is probably going to enter before I go over to Charles.
Yeah. What Manela is doing is, as she and Dessa are approaching Maxine, have we heard about the thing with Maxine and Charles and the rumors, or is that like a super hush hush thing?
It was. There are rumors.
Rumors. Manela was looking for that ring though.
She's got it on.
And so does she.
Wait, 1 second. There's 2 rings now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
They
Paul,
both, they both have a ring on. Yes.
who has the ring that Sir Carol gave to Charles?
I do.
Got it. Okay.
Maxine's was bought today. It's a sapphire ring with like a thorn motif holding the sapphire.
Because someone's a
he only
thorn in
got
your
you a
side.
sapphire.
Say because someone's a thorn in your side. I think that's what's going on here.
Okay. Sir Carol looks at Charles. What has you so interested, Squire?
Interested?
You seem eager to go play.
Sorry, you garbled a bit. Could you repeat that?
You seem eager to go play.
Play? No. Right now's not the time for play. As he's still staring at the body of the Countess at the right now. Now is the time for something else.
Oh, my dear boy. Don't you know this is all a game?
Of course. How silly of me.
Go, mingle. This is a wake. You should at least appear to be interested.
By your leave, said Carol. He'll get up and he's actually very, he's just smiling because he smiles to himself because he was planning to go out and mingle and do his own little fun games anyway, but Carol's perception of him at the very least is still something he's at least feeding.
Yeah, he probably stands up and looks right at Amber, who is standing behind him, just politely waiting for them to finish their conversation. But she'll drop a curtsy to Sir Carol because she's very good at acting like being respectful of people. And she says, begging your pardon, sir. I was wondering if I could borrow your squire for a moment.
As one must. And he waves Charles off. And he begins staring at Maxine.
Mm-hmm. Charles just bows back and flashes that diamond sharp tooth smile at Amber. Lady Amber, it's a pleasure to see you again. Sorry that the circumstances are ones of a more dour sort.
Oh, I'm a lady now. I hadn't realized I received a promotion.
Well, stay here long enough. We'll see how much further of a promotion we can get you.
I actually wanted to speak to you about that. I have to say, I'm a little bit despondent. I really thought we had something, and she's kind of like fiddling with the bracelet he gave her. Nevertheless, I am overjoyed. Congratulations. I just was hoping, I don't know. I was hoping I might have a little while longer to try and steal you away.
Oh, my dear, you will have plenty of opportunities to try and sweep me off my feet.
Yeah, she'll smile and offer an arm.
And
since it seems like he's trying to leave Sir Carol.
Yep, and he will take it and follow her off.
Headed towards the food / in the general direction of the rest of the people that they know.
Maxine is cringing away from the gaze of Sir Carol into the crowd of other changelings.
I mean, it's rolling up. He's starting to see Maxine like shy a little bit away from some, right?
Yes.
The neighbor kind of looks over at Maxine. Is it okay? I ain't gonna lie, Logan. Does Maneva just kind of need to turn left and see that someone's just like
Sir Kel's not being like subtle about it. Like he's staring at Maxine, but it's not like it doesn't look angry or violent. It just looks thoughtful.
Can I just mention very quickly though that Misha, like, if having caught the vibe that she wasn't going to be like that, she didn't want to be noticed by Carol. Misha's been trying to stay between.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I feel like we're gonna do the same thing. Like, I didn't say nothing. Just like, yeah, no, can you not? Just kind of calmly stand in front of her.
I love you all for closing ranks.
It's a thing.
It is.
Has Alice arrived yet?
Not yet. I was waiting. I didn't want to interrupt that. That was actually a cute scene. So, Alice will be showing up. She is dressed in a Gothic Lolita attire and looking rather out of place. She's not sure what to do at a funeral. She'll kind of peek into the casket for a moment to pay a respect and then make her way just kind of there, looking completely out of place again. Just not sure of what to do.
Yeah, when Misha sees her, she'll kind of mutter under her breath, regardless of whatever you guys are doing. Just under her breath, she'll just be like, "Oh, it's my doppelganger again." But she's not mad. She just kind of notices. You know what I mean?
When Ava says out loud, okay, not out loud, but she says it. She responds to Misha in a similar tone. But you don't even look alike. Is there some racism at work here?
There can only be one Alice.
And she'll look at Maneva and just kind of be like, "Did I ever give you one of my cards?" Because I'm pretty sure I did. If so, you should look at what my name is on there.
No, I don't think you've really handed me a card.
Oh. Well, let's just say that my mortal name matches hers. And we're both Japanese.
Okay, racism. Awesome.
Well, I'm being racist against my own kind. Is that a problem?
No, I was talking about other people.
Oh.
Everyone roll me a perception awareness. Alertness, sorry.
Oh,
one of these things is not like the other.
Is this hearing based, Logan?
Just roll me perception alertness because it's a couple things.
4 successes for Dessa.
It was good.
One for me.
Nope.
It's because of that crowd protecting you.
It is. I am not perceptive.
Yeah, I did it.
That was a beautiful, beautiful botch, Carol.
Whatever.
Oh, hey.
It was a fail. She had an 8 in there.
Yeah, if you have a success.
Oh, I didn't see that. My apologies.
Phew. All I need is you fail your perception roll and pull out a gun that you didn't know you had.
Wait,
What?
that literally cannot be because we took care of that in the other scene.
All I'm
You'd
saying
be
is,
surprised.
look, if you need a gun real quick, Maneva can hook you up. Just give her.
No, seriously, literally, Misha, I just blue booked today where the gun is.
So, those of you that got a success, notice that the air all of a sudden feels more formal.
Mm.
And it's not the formality of the count. It's something bigger. Something stronger. Something ageless and eternal. And Maxine, since she decided to fail,
Excellent.
You're turning because you hear something coming into the front through the front doors. And before you know it, Sebastian is pulling you aside because you almost bump into the Grand Dame herself, Queen Mab,
Fuck.
who has decided to enter the wake.
Oh God, let me. Oh, I have etiquette. Thank God.
And you fail mostly because he pulls you out of the way. And she stares at everyone who meets eyes with her in turn.
Do we recognize her? Like, I have politics. Can I have a chance?
I feel like the crown gives a lot away, personally.
As long as we know, yeah, I'm gonna drop into that, that curtsy or bow or something.
She, beauty doesn't quite begin to describe her. And it's not exactly cold beauty. Queen Mab is a Fiona after all. But it's wild, but ancient. And it's both loving and stern. And people, including fellow she, literally part for her like a wave as she approaches the body of her dead friend and kneels before it.
Aww.
And there she stays. While people and yourselves begin to whisper and mill about.
Everyone act casual.
I have no etiquette. So.
Oh God, I totally have etiquette. So maybe at least I know enough not to stare after I get past the original staring problem.
Maybe Misha can give can give Maxine a pinch.
Yeah, if she's
No,
doing that,
idiot.
you should just be like, "Hey," that smack on the side.
Like, oh, right. Okay. They like that sort of thing.
She would do that for anybody that she thought was staring too long. I'll be honest. So if anyone else is at the table, I don't think she's anywhere near the other Alice to catch her, so I apologize for that. But anybody else at the table who seems to be doing it too long, she'll kind of be like, "Stop staring."
Do I have anyone here with any significant contacts with Underworld or the Shadow Court or Unsully? I don't think I do I?
I have some.
I'm absolutely part of the Shadow Court right over here.
I am a Shadow Court knocker.
I have a set of flaws dealing with that.
What
I'm unseelie, but I don't think that is what you're asking.
I have
Deal with criminals.
I have Contacts 1, which originally, even though it's not right, is set up to be like Underworld ish, as in like criminal. But I don't think that's how contacts really work. And for some reason, when it never got taken off.
Okay.
It's meant to be like a contact that she can sell the stuff that she steals to.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna just keep role playing, guys. I'm gonna look at sheets for just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know Maneva has Contacts 2.
Okay.
Didn't define quite yet, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Yeah, mine's misdefined, and I mentioned it once, and they didn't. And I asked it to be corrected, and then it just wasn't for whatever reason.
No, it's all good. Yeah, Maneva is currently said there's food and drink, right, Logan?
Yeah.
Maneva's drinking a lot of water all of a sudden. She was really thirsty.
I'm kind of wishing that my phone would work in the dreaming, because I want pictures of this woman.
Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Maneva may be ace as fuck, but that's still app 7. Get it?
You have no idea how happy that actually makes me. For so many years, I saw people who like there would be literally one of the she like pissed off at their character and they would just roll their eyes. This is like an app 6 she, and I'm like, excuse me.
Mm-mm.
Like,
No, whatever you say, sir or madam. Yes, you insulted me. I'm more than happy to have you do that to me again.
Like, yes, please, thank you.
Yeah. Just because they're stupid beautiful doesn't mean you can't react otherwise. It just means you should have really have that first reaction.
Huh? What? Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tim, on Minerva's sheet, do you have like listed what your contacts are?
Yeah, that's what the issue was. We never got to define them.
Okay.
But I don't get the thing because that's a little meta to say like, oh yeah, I can totally get the thing.
Okay, yeah, we're going to play with that later then, because I'd really like to get that set in stone so it can be used later. So, barring that, no one's really heard kind of anything as of yet.
Okay.
But the air is a lot tenser now that one of the Queens of Concordia has shown up. No one really, like, even the Count looks kind of perplexed. And he approaches her while people are milling about and whispers softly to her, and she speaks to him. And eventually he escorts her to it. Well, when she sits on it, it begins to look like a throne, but casual living just makes it look like a chair. But, you know, that's the nature of these things. And even Sir Carol, like, takes his gaze away from Maxine to look at the Queen as well.
It takes the Queen to get him to stop staring at you.
Well, Maxine does have pointy ears, but I'm sure that the Queen's pointy ears are much lovelier.
Ears for days. Ears for days. Have you seen those sheet ears?
Is she surrounded by guards or anything?
She has 2 knights with her, and someone that looks like a squire that you recognize probably like from the court. So you're assuming that's probably Lady Iana's squire. Iana, sorry. But you know, she just has 2 guards with her, and woe to anyone who would actually mess with her. She is probably one of the most ancient fae that you actually know of. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, he's just going to sit there and drink that drink she has, because she needs that fortification right about now.
Well, Lady Amber, I'm afraid we may have to put any promotions you may get this evening on hold, since the Queen is the one ruling this particular event.
That's quite all right. I will try to contain my my depression. And she's just like kind of blinking. She's taking glances out of the corner of her eye at the Queen, but she has etiquette too, so she's very subtle about it.
Okay, so who is with who? I'm getting a little confused as to where everyone is.
I believe Dessa, Misha, Minerva, and Maxine, and I think Alice have their own thing going on, and then Amber and Charles are doing their own little side thing that can easily be merged.
Wait, okay, I don't think Alice is with us. Is she? I mean, if she can walk up and join us, we're fine with that.
Alice was looking for a table with water, rather unsuccessfully because she's not taking her eyes off the Queen still.
Oh, trust me. Look the water. Minerva's got you. Minerva's got you for days.
Okay, so then Maxine, Misha, Dessa, and Minerva are kind of standing together with Sebastian because he pulled Maxine out of the way.
Fair enough.
Have Charles and Amber together, and Alice kind of by herself. Okay, so I'm going to get to the 4 of you with Sebastian here in just a minute. Charles and Amber, I'll do y'all before that. First, we're going to deal with Alice, who's kind of by herself, standing by the refreshment table.
Yes.
You see there, one second, who am I looking for? You see a Sluaw standing there kind of digging around looking for something that looks maybe a little bit, not rotted, but like bruised, like some bruised fruit or something. And she bears this sigil of House Elunid.
Can I help you?
You're Alice, correct?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, so you were the one who helped, well, tried to help at least. Yes. It is a pleasure to meet you. I've heard much about you.
Oh, it's a pleasure as well. She'll do a quick curtsy.
The Sluaw smiles and kind of gives a small curtsy as well. I'm Jessamine Eluned. I am the squire to Lord Sebastian. Thank you for coming to this auspicious occasion. We have a queen. Is it not exciting?
Words.
Indeed, words. Perhaps you could tell me what is going on out in the community. I have not had time to go amongst my peers recently. Is everything okay? Is there unrest?
Well, that, yes and no.
Oh, you must explain. And then she takes a nibble out of a bruised prune.
Well, some people aren't happy with the current state of affairs, and others are very happy. It's some of the politics are just weird. Everyone wants something, but it's almost like if you give it to everyone, everyone's going to be so unhappy.
Well, misery does love company, does it not? That's the saying, correct? Misery loves company?
That or politics happens.
Yes, there will be a lot of that in the coming days. So people are happy that the Baroness is dead. That is interesting.
That sounds terrible.
That's what you just said.
Well, yeah, I know, and I still think it's terrible.
Ah, well. I trust you are a friend to the Baron.
I
know he loves you. He has your posters in his room.
Wait, what?
He thinks you're a fine singer. Perhaps you could attend court and sing for him someday. He would find that most agreeable.
Me in court?
Most agreeable. And she gives you a toothless smile, turns and walks away.
Jesus.
Alice is both red and now looking at the floor. The floor is a very interesting thing to look at right now. It is the best thing. It is more beautiful than the queen. It is the only thing to look at, the floor.
You're welcome. Okay, so to Andrew and Charles. Charles, you see, you've been hearing some you've been around Carol quite a bit, so you've seen Jessamine before. You know she is the personal squire to Sebastian. And she has been on meetings between him and Carol. She seems nice enough. Do you know she is a commoner noble? She's a Sluaw who earned her title. She doesn't really go into it, but she did earn her title. From Sir Carol, in fact.
My other fellow squire.
But you're a squire to Carol. He's the squire to Sebastian, so you aren't exactly.
Okay, not exact, but it's a still somewhat level playing field. Is she approaching us, or I'm just catching her?
She's just walking away. Further into the garden to do Sluaw things.
Of course.
Should we go and rescue Alice over there? I feel someone should help her. She seems a bit out of it.
Alice? And for the brief moment, he actually looks over towards Misha, actually. And then he's elite confused, and then he realizes where Amber's pointing and goes, "This is one he hasn't met before. Perhaps we shall. You know this one better than I do. You'll have to introduce me."
Oh yes, we go way back. I've certainly met her more than once.
Thank you, Puka.
Well, that's a lot more than I have.
And yeah, she'll make her way with Charles in tow towards Alice and just kind of casually putting herself between Alice and her line of sight with Mab, sort of like trying to block her from any crowds and being like, "Are you feeling all right?"
What are you gonna do?
Words.
That's all right. Alice, this is my very good friend Charles. Charles, this is Alice. Alice, do you want to join us, standing a little bit farther away from the rest of the people?
Hi. Yes. Words. Sure.
A pleasure to meet you, Alice. You definitely grace this place with your own radiance, even though all of ours pale in comparison to our great queen. And he basically he reaches out to take Alice's hand to guide her away in that marble hand of his stained glass window eyes staring right at her in that diamond sharp tooth wide smile.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to make me jealous.
Oh, I think I've been succeeding already.
Just ever so slightly, she says.
We're going
"I'm
over
the
there."
ring."
She points at where everyone else is standing. Are you taking her towards where Sebastian is?
Sure. we can go in that general direction. Amber is more focused on just getting Alice sort of out of the cluster of people because she seems kind of lost, so she wants to bring her out so she can kind of come back to herself.
Michael,
you mean that table?
Roll. Give me a perception alertness roll, please.
Okay, will do. Give me a moment. Nope, that's a botch.
Queen Mab looks at you, and her eyes narrow, and for all your bravado, you are shaken quite a bit. Because you realize, as her eyes narrow at you, that you're cavorting and flirting. She can smell a mile away at a wake, and this is a Queen of Fiona, and she is not pleased.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that wasn't directed at me.
Just give it time. Give it time.
But you're common, honey.
Oh, okay, I get it.
We're barely people at all.
Lower expectations. Lower expectations.
Which is good. That means I can flirt up whoever I want at this goddamn party.
I wouldn't go that far, but
There's a queen that looks like she's single over there.
I'm not that stupid. I don't have intelligence of 0.
Give it enough time.
I'm trying to get it.
Okay, so y'all are calming Alice, and so now we have the 4 lovely ladies standing next to an Autumn, she of House Bowman, who is 17 or 18 years old.
Yeah, Misha looks pretty uncomfortable with that because she doesn't even know who this is. I mean,
he still has his arm, accidentally on Maxine's elbow from having pulled her out of the way of the queen. Are you all right?
Oh, me?
Yeah. Yes, you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for pulling me out of the way. That could have been, well, I'm not quite ready to make introductions with the queen. So, yes, thank you.
Have we met before? I am Sebastian.
Lovely to meet your acquaintance. Out of character real quick. Was he at the the party?
He was, but I think he and William were kind of off for that, and then he was there for the murder, but I don't think he ever actually met Maxine.
Okay, because she was part of that tableau at the end.
Yes, she was. No formal introduction was ever made.
Okay. I don't think we've gotten to officially meet. She offers a hand because she's seen it in movies.
He takes her hand and with a very practiced flourish, bows and kisses her knuckles. A pleasure.
She blushes wildly. Thank you. I'm sort of a ragtag gardener of sorts.
Gardening, that's fascinating. And who are your friends? I know Dessa here. She works for my father at times.
Yes, this is Misha. She is amazing and crafted this lovely necklace for me. And she indicates this like a steampunk gear thing. It matches her typical, I don't know how you say it, violet, whatever. Yeah, that
Voila.
stuff.
I can dig a picture up if you want to see it, but yeah, you get the idea what it is. It's
Yeah.
steampunk and it looks like, made from a bunch of old gears from like a watch or something.
But Maxine is fond of it, so she wears it.
Yeah, no, you bought it.
Yeah. She's lovely, talented, and my dear good friend. This is Maneva. She is also very talented and the sweetest person you'll ever meet. And you know Dessa.
Indeed, and he bows to the to the three of you, very politely.
Thus I'll give him a bow in return. Lord Sebastian, a pleasure as always.
Yes, Maneva. She'll say, it's great to meet you. Everyone can tell that the knocker is struggling to not swear.
Misha's probably going to be struggling not to laugh at that.
Actually, a pleasure to meet you too. This has been a very trying time. It's good to see. It's good to see other faces. I appreciate you coming, truly. This has been very hard on my mother and father.
Quite understandable.
It was a
That
tragedy.
Violate that trust in such a blatant manner.
Well, he will get what's coming to him, I'm sure. You will be at the trial, yes?
I wouldn't miss it. I may have been subpoenaed as well, but that's neither here nor there.
He kind of shrugs a little bit. Well, if you ladies are okay, I do apologize for taking up any of your evening. And he bows to you and he begins to wander. Like, he begins to leave unless anyone stops him.
No.
He was a pretty one.
Misha has no idea what to do with someone like that.
You put him on a shelf and remember to dust.
But the dust would just make them prettier. Make them look antique.
Dessa's going to look
Done.
around to see if Alice is nearby.
Who?
If Alice,
Oh.
a little clerk on. Because she's found that when she's around, he tends to go off quickly.
At this point, the Staten Island government officials have arrived. So Andrew Miller, another Alice, who's a troll, who's his bodyguard and attendant, and Miriam arrive as a unit. Staten Island, for those who need a refresher, is a democratically run barony. They are elected officials.
Oh, I'm well aware of it.
Well, Andrew is elected official. I think Miriam and Alice are more his appointees, from how I understand it. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me.
I'll take your word for it. I won't argue it. Sounds good.
I wasn't given much more than that on them, so that's all I really have. So that's what I'm going with.
Well, yeah, because Misha's actually from Staten, and she hangs out in Staten constantly because that's where most of her motley lives. Like all of her motley, except her, live there. So she's well aware of the situation there. She actually lives in Brooklyn, though.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So they arrive and they actually they pay quite a bit of respect to Queen Mab. And not like overly so, but they are friendly. They exchange a few small words that are, unless you're standing right next to them, you're not really going to hear. And if you are, it's nothing like consequential. The Count and his wife are kind of like conversing with the other barons, commiserating. They each have a drink in hand and have a few toasts here and there. And groups have definitely formed. You're seeing typically nobles with nobles and commoners with commoners. There's a little bit of intermixing, especially among the Hamners of Queens, simply due to the fact that they are all autumn she and therefore behave slightly differently. But there are a couple of exceptions, nothing that would strike you as alarming.
So the Staten Island, like, since that's actually run by commoners, they're mixing with other commoners.
They do. Well, they go and like pay honorifics to Queen Mab, and then Andrew actually, because he is that elected official, he does break off from the other two, and he's with the other barons with the Count. Like, he's actually conversing with them, and they're having like whatever counts say to their barons going on.
Okay, I just was wondering because I'm like, wait a minute, like they're the one sole thing that isn't made up of mostly she, you know. So that's why I figured I'd ask.
Yeah,
she's kind of watching them a little more particularly. If they do anything weird, let me know.
Andrew does seem tense, but it's an easy tenseness to read. I'll give you this one for free. A baroness was killed by her own, like by a knight of the Count.
Because he loved her. And Maxine picked up on that.
Yes. That's running the rumor mill too, for those of you that didn't already know it. But you can tell that he's tense because he doesn't quite know what that will ultimately mean for Staten Island. If that makes sense, like, because it could go one of two ways. It could go for greater freedoms because it wasn't actually the commoners that killed the Baroness, or it could cause people to irrationally freak out, and that situation's a little harder to read. So there's a little bit of tension there, but he is conversing with the other barons, and they're actually like speaking to him respectfully. He is an elected official, and he does run a borough, so he is given the respect he is due, some more than others. The Hamners seem the Hamner Baron, what's his name? Where is he? Wait, where are the Hamners?
Iago?
Yes, Iago seems very close with him, pats him on the back a little bit. Isidore is respectful but distant. Castolas doesn't say much, but he's not completely disrespectful because next to him is standing his own squire, who is a redcap.
Have the Aileals? Well, the Aileal has basically have the Aileal from Brooklyn. Like, have they shown up yet?
Yeah, Brooklyn's already there. Lord Isidore is there. And his two squires are two very beautiful, young, blonde toys.
Toys.
They're not toys, but they're very pretty, and they're very young. And they're also very Leonin.
Okay. Just wondering, because she's just kind of watching everything. She's not sure if in many ways, it's best if people don't really pay attention to her. But she's still watching. One of many.
A lot of stuff is kind of like moving around a lot more. You see the squires to the Count and Countess, Trin and Henrik. They're like really going about checking with everyone, stopping for conversations. But yeah, there's a lot of knights and thanes here. You see the 3 thanes to the county. It's Charlie, North, and Jacob. They arrive together. Charlie's a satyr, North is an issue, and Jacob is a troll. They arrive together and pay their respects to the Baroness. But like it's getting the garden's getting quite crowded because there's also commoners who aren't really associated with the court other than like providing small services like Dessa does, who are showing up too. So it's getting very, 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 very crowded.
This makes the jackrabbit slightly uncomfortable. Very crowded means nowhere to run.
I'm gonna bounce back to Charles for a second. You feel a tap on your shoulder.
I turn to it.
It is Jessamy. She looks very unpleased.
Jessamy?
Mhm.
The
Sebastian's squire.
Oh, okay.
I am carrying a message for your master.
Ah. I bow to her.
She bows to him and stands. I cannot believe I am having to do this. I am not his servant. However, he wants me to express to Maxine, that her father will be doing very well in the coming weeks. The used car dealership has been reopened, and money is now pouring into her, what did he call it? Hamlet, I believe. He also says that her mother's cake that he went home with was quite divine. And he urges you to remember your place, and that he had a thought about marriage, but it is not yours. You have to mull on that for a moment and get back to him. And she bows again, turns, and leaves.
Amber, who totally wasn't listening with her fox hearing,
Of
leans
course
in
not.
and goes, "Do I smell drama?"
Oh, I smell the most delicious rupturing of many beautiful things.
I'm a little bit frightened that we both seem excited by this.
I think it's wonderful that we're both excited about this. Please forgive me. Please keep Alice company. I have a message to deliver.
But of course. And she gives maybe a slightly exaggerated curtsy.
Thanks for the company.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
It was an absolute pleasure. I hope we'll be able to talk at length at another day.
Better circumstances.
So, I'll get back to you in a minute. What are Minerva, Dessa, Misha, and Maxine doing?
For right now, basically what Minerva said was, if you all check the side chats, he said, all right, everybody. Everyone knows that she wanted to say motherfuckers in that sentence. It seems like it kind of got lost in studying and tinkering and other stuff.
Yes, let's see.
Someone very
What have
quickly
you
get-
missed? Let's see. Maxine took Charles to the middle of nowhere, Michigan, or was it Wisconsin? Something like that.
Minnesota. We have
Minnesota,
our own
see.
middle of nowhere in Minnesota. Thank you.
Sorry, middle of nowhere, Minnesota.
Bill
They are now
Beck.
engaged to be wed. She has a lovely ring. He has a less lovely ring. Let's
Thanks
see
for
what
the judgment.
Minerva will look, and she's going to forget that she's in a wake, and she's also going to forget that this is technically a quarterly thing. She'll say, dig down. Looks back to Dessa.
And Maxine just
starts
loses
giggling.
it.
Yeah, Misha's giggling.
Maxine
Let's see.
choke
Misha spits on a drink. Like, it goes across the table, probably hits one of you guys.
Hey, Michael, before I send this PM, roll me intelligence politics.
Okay, that should be pretty good.
All right.
Hopefully.
By the way, I lied earlier when I said politics. I didn't realize it. I forgot that it hadn't been approved yet.
I will throw out, Charles. I don't think you can botch politics as a she.
That's true. I can't follow. I can only fail. That's true. But I at least got 2 successes. So
Let's see, what else? A month ago, the Baroness of Manhattan, who's clearly laying over there dead, was killed by a former lover, I think is what you said, Maxine.
No, he loved her. I don't know if they were lovers. It's really hard to pick up a lot of details from somebody whose neck has been broken and
Yes. Paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah, he wasn't a talkative one.
He killed her with cold iron. Very tragic.
Yeah, even Misha gets to look at her face like.
It was a very tragic night. We stopped the first assassination attempt. Didn't quite make it to the second. Had we wouldn't be here tonight.
Fuck it, do all of you need guns? I can make you all guns.
No, thank you.
PM sent on Facebook.
Oddly, if I wanted a gun, I have one.
I tend to use a knife myself, but thank you for the offer.
I'm just gonna keep my stuff then. My good stuff.
No, I mean, I appreciate the offer. I mean, I appreciate the things you make. As she kind of looks at her phone with its fancy phone case.
I know, but Ava does look at me. She says, "Yeah, I know, girl. I know you go for it." Shoot.
Okay, so yep, there you go, Michael. Run with it.
Oh, I will. Shit. Just you wait.
The twin Fiona Squires, who are also very pretty, obviously. But
now, Logan, when you say that they're young, like childlings or wilder?
No. The Leonin are not twins. It's the twins of House Fiona that are wandering about checking on people. That's who I'm talking about. Henrik and Trent.
I understand.
But the Leonin Squires are like 17 or 18. They're young. But they're legal age. I'm not doing any like weird Roy Moore, Harvey Weinstein crap. I'm avoiding.
So 18. They're 18 and they look 18.
Yes. I mean, they might be 19 or 20, but whatever. It all's kind of the same around those 3 years.
Right. Yes.
Beauty is wasted on the youth. Sorry. It's true. Anyways. But yeah, they approached the group of you, and it's creepy how much they look alike. It is like a male and female version of each other, and it's not in the least uncomfortable, except that it's uncomfortable.
Feels like Children of the Corn.
Kind of like they have like purple eyes, like white hair, perfect skin. They are dressed similarly. Sometimes they speak in unison, but they're trying not to do that tonight.
Okay.
Are you enjoying the wake?
As much as such things can be enjoyed.
Yes, this is a very, very sad time. The Count and Countess thank you for your attendance.
Of course.
They're quite welcome.
Have you had refreshments? And she looked, and this is Trin, like saying that this time, and she looks at all 4 of you in turn. Or I guess 5 of you, because Alice is there now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I've already gotten one. Thank you, though.
Maneva looks at like the 5 glasses of water that she cleared upon seeing Mab into the room, and she just says, "I'm quite all right, but thank you."
I better pass.
And Henrik looks at Maneva for just a half second too long, and like kind of smiles a little bit. I bet you are. And then he nods his head and turns to leave, and Tren follows suit.
And Misha has accomplished her goal of being unnoticed. This works.
I don't care. Those are both she, right?
Yeah, they're both she of House Fiona. And twins. Twins, Basil.
Ooey.
Yeah, we're just gonna be like, I didn't know being one of us was genetic.
It's a lot of conflicts that involve a lot of swearing.
I mean,
Some people yeah, some people no.
If it is the dreaming's will, it will happen.
could just be our chance.
Yeah, depends on a lot of things.
Why do I feel we should discuss this later, Maneva? I'm a little curious as to how you think this works.
It's not really how I think it. Lots of debates. There have been lots of debates. It's fine. Trust me.
No, I'm actually interested. As you can...
Oh, okay. All right. Hopefully this. Oh, okay. Hopefully that conversation won't resolve. A destroyed room or building or something. It'll be fine.
We'll do it later.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Misha looks confused, but still interested.
Okay. So, what is Amber doing?
Now making her way towards the food. as one does in such a party in which people are all looking very attractive, but also with etiquette too, she knows that as a commoner, she should not go up to those very attractive people. So she's going to go to the food.
I mean,
Carol, is that
Fiona and twins. I mean, come on, it's like begging you.
Well, no, they're also like royalty. Like that just doesn't seem
They're
like
squires. They're squires, and they often go slumming. What are you talking about? They're Fiona.
slumming, excuse you.
All I'm saying is, Summer did it and look who got her.
when Amber gets to the table, Sir Carol is there putting
Just my luck.
roll perception alertness for me though.
Okay, is it hearing based at all?
It's sight based.
I don't get my bonus. Nope, just a straight fail.
Okay, he's just there putting food on his plate. And he side eyes you. Mm-hmm.
She'll give a curtsy, sort of glancing down, not meeting his eyes, and sort of wait for him to move down the table before she goes. She's giving him respectful distance, as she is a lowly commoner, and he is a noble she.
And what do you think of this travesty of a wake?
I think it has been, given the circumstances, done beautifully, sir. I am sorry to hear that you're not enjoying it, but I don't suppose wakes are something that should necessarily be enjoyed.
I like you. You're funny. She would have hated it, though. All this fawning and nicety. She was very direct.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Hopefully having people around who care about her will make up for the formality of the situation.
Well, as she was killed with iron, I don't actually believe she gives a flying fuck anymore.
Of course, begging your pardon, sir.
This is pointless. Have you heard any rumors of what is to happen next?
I hear plenty of rumors. I doubt any of them have any truth in them. The sort of people who I hear rumors from aren't necessarily, sir.
American government and political.
Well, I am a Lunid. Tell me, and he offers her a glass of like wine from a passing waiter and hand like in what have you.
Right, she'll take the glass respectfully, with like a little incline of her head. With contacts one in terms of like the lowly folk, what sort of tasty rumors have I heard?
1 second.
Tim's going crazy on the side.
Rumors that would have been, talked about by lowly commoners in a seedy bar.
As a side note, as she heard that dude swear, y'all are gonna just get a torrent of some crazy ass shit that you're pretty sure came from multiple 4chan articles. I can't repeat these because Logan would give me a warning as an ST.
You don't know me that well.
If that happens, though, Misha's just going to suddenly look a lot more comfortable.
You really don't know me that well, but okay.
I do not know you that well, but Maeve says a lot of interesting things.
Misha, Amber, roll me a wits plus your context rating, difficulty 7.
Okay, one moment. I think that's just 4 dice. 4, 10. Hey, there's 3.
You've heard quite a bit. You've heard that. I'm going to give you 3 rumors, one of which is true.
Excellent.
You heard that the Aliel Baron of Brooklyn orchestrated the manipulation of the Count's knight to murder the Baroness.
Ouch.
Hold on, wait, let me pull out a notebook. So hang on, the Aliel Baron conspired to murder her?
No, that he manipulated and twisted Sir Dak into ultimately murdering the Baroness.
Okay, so Aliel manipulation. Got it.
You've heard that that Sebastian will become the next Baron of Manhattan and that he is to wed. And you've heard that Queen Mab herself wants to do away with the commoner barony.
Oh, that's probably so true.
Oh, shit.
That's what pissed off some people.
All right. Here goes nothing. She asking Apuka a question. Yeah, she'll take the glass and incline her head, and she'll say, "I have heard some interesting things about about young Sebastian's prospects, and about his perhaps he has his eye set on someone. I've also it seems it is a season for weddings."
Did we? Oh, 1 second.
I think she just muted herself because it got a little loud. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, did you not hear the rest of that?
I didn't hear the rest. I just heard the beginning of it.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'll repeat it. She said, "I've heard some things about young Sebastian's prospects. It does seem to be a season for weddings."
I see. That's it?
Oh, I've heard plenty about don't know and she'll kind of turn so that her back is to like most people, so no one's like reading her lips or anything. A lot about where various nobilities can do behind closed doors, and what sort of insults that shouldn't be repeated here, sir.
I see. Well, this has proven to be quite useless. Thank you for your time.
And she'll curtsy with her. Again, not meeting his gaze.
And he, once you curtsy, turns with his plate of food and glass of wine and walks off.
Amber suppresses a shudder. And like
wait, I have to ask a question because I came on and this character kind of already existed. Why the fuck is everyone afraid of Sir Carol?
Because he's a dick.
He's a dick.
He
Austin
came into in our very first scene that we ever did, it was a pool party. He came in and totally shut everything down. He was very rude.
Just because he wasn't invited.
Yeah.
That makes the fact that I brought him to that Thanksgiving scene even funnier because I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was appropriate, actually, given the fact
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he's party crashing again.
Oh yeah, that's the only time Misha's seen him, and yeah.
I literally had no idea about that.
I feel like Sir Carol just kind of knows all the parties that go down, and he just picks which ones he wants to crash and be a dick at.
And he's calling me bold.
I am just so glad that he thinks I'm useless. That's the best. Can I just quickly, because I'm paranoid, hold the glass up to the light and see if there's anything like around the rim or like any sort of residue anywhere?
He handed it to you directly from the tray of a passing servant, so you're fine.
Okay, awesome. In that case, yeah, she'll suppress a shudder, take stuff, put stuff on her plate.
Oh,
and,
I just want to let you know that I will probably never do something like that to your characters. I had an ST once who had one of my characters drugged and raped. That is something that I legitimately...
Oh, no. We don't expect that at all.
I fully expect Charles to be poisoned to death at someone, whether it's Felix or someone else. So I'm fine with poison to death. It's just...
No, that wasn't me not trusting you as an ST. That was Amber being disgusted by Charles.
I just want that out there in case you have
Carol.
questions about it. That's not something...
No, that is very good to know.
There's no question. We know. It's fine.
Okay, so we're going to go back to... Who haven't I talked to in a while? Maxine and Dessa.
Yay!
Okay, so y'all are still together. The infamous duo.
Are we infamous now?
Oh, so did anybody
Should be
leave?
at least famous.
Yeah, weren't there four of us still there?
Yeah.
So,
Dessa looks like she's contemplating doing something, and it's probably not a good idea by what she keeps glancing toward, by who she keeps glancing towards.
who are you glancing at?
The queen.
Oh.
She looks like she wants to get up and go over there.
Don't get me wrong. I thought about it too. Out of character. Misha's not going to say much though, other than take note at this point.
So is just real quick. Sebastian is nowhere near the group right now. Yes.
No. He is talking to a few other younger members of the various courts.
Wait.
What?
Is Alice with the group now?
Yes.
Maxine moves away after like staring at her very silently and awkwardly for all this time and just no. Not ready to confront this. Certainly not here.
Misha would actually at least look up and say hi to Alice. She has no reason not to.
Okay, so Maxine has wandered away.
Oh, she's not just, it's not a meander. It is a brisk walk.
And the other puka goes to intercept.
Minerva's only met the Lolita anime girl like once before, so she's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, Misha was just kind of like, hey, and she kind of, does the friendly wave while the other hand is full of drink.
Okay, so I need to break this up into segments. I want to do Misha out. I want to. Okay, so first I'm going to focus on Misha, Alice, and Minerva, and then we'll deal with Maxine and Amber. Then we'll deal with whatever audacious move Dessa's going to do, and then we'll go back to Charles and Scene.
Oh my gosh. So do any of you know anything at all about the... Okay, so there's a bit... What are you supposed...
Cat got your tongue?
Child. Take it word by word and shit. You got this. I believe in you.
Take it word by word and shit.
Okay, so there was a noble who decided to talk to me about rumors, and I didn't know a lot, but they knew a lot about apparently posters, and I'm so Baron, son of Count, is likes maybe.
Wow, that was a lot of words with
What are you talking about?
basically no verbs in it.
Yeah, no, something. I heard some shit about fucking posters, and then some shit about liking something. You gotta
And a
fuck.
baron. And a baron. There was a baron. Son of.
Now-
Baron might like me.
Oh, like he flirted?
Okay, so there was a long story short, apparently he might be a fan.
Oh, that's totally different than flirting. Jeez. Well, you're kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
well known. I mean, seriously, like even I've heard of you.
Right, but Baron, and then the noble told me he might like me, like be interested, and then, but
Oh.
it's a Baron and son of a count who I like the count because the count is a good count, and here I am, and I know that we're not supposed to talk to them, and there's these rules, and I don't even know the rules.
Look, do you want the D or no?
What?
No, that's no, seriously. That's kind of the first main question that needs to be answered.
That's what the fuck it comes down to. Do you want it or not? If you don't
Or-
want it,
I haven't been allowed to date ever.
I don't see nobody stopping you now. Shit.
I mean, you're old enough to date, right? So it's your
Well, that
choice.
depends on if my mom's okay with it and how good I'm doing in school.
Oh
And then I
my
have
God.
Oh, I'm
How
gonna
old
stop
are
you.
you? How old are you?
Yeah,
18.
exactly.
Okay, date who you like.
Get it. Do what you want.
But my mom is,
Move
and she just starts
out.
rattling off in Japanese
No,
about
no,
how
that's
her
what
mom
I don't
is
wanna hear none of that.
demanding and
Okay, Misha is listening avidly to every word of this Japanese, so she actually we've established she actually knows the language.
so yeah, she's just going on about how, you know, her mom would like get upset, and then she has to consider the fact that, like, what if her friends are upset about this, and then there's also all the,
Okay, Misha will actually hold up a hand if it looks like Maniva's trying to interrupt all the Japanese.
Okay.
And eventually, after this has gone on for a minute, Misha's going to kind of look up at her and say kind of quietly in Japanese, "Listen, you need to relax, sweetie, okay?
Maneva turns on Google Translate.
Fine." Except it's the dreaming, but except for that.
Oh, damn it. My bad. Yeah, are we in the dreaming or are we in a freehold?
You're in the dreaming. Like the freehold, like the trod was open and led into the dreaming. Like,
Ooh, my bad.
you're in a garden in the dreaming.
My mistake then.
Okay, I promise you, Misha will not keep it in Japanese very long. So, she's going. You need to calm down. Now, if you're not comfortable with the situation, which it sounds like you're not because you're throwing every excuse out there, then you can go there and you just keep it very friendly. And if someone tries to get too pushy, then you push them the fuck off.
I mean, I'd like to get him to, I would like to get to know him better, but he's a baron.
Yeah, and at this point, she'll just be like, okay, why don't we switch back to English and speak quietly so that we're not being really, really rude to them. Well, to Maniva, really.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, I heard my fucking name. Hi.
Yeah, you totally. And Misha will kind of look up, kind of flash her grin and be like, yeah, I was trying to talk her into switching back. Sorry about that.
Ain't no fucking problem.
I get you're more comfortable in Japanese. I mean, you speak it like a native, and I mean, I get it, but
It's a baron, though, and I've been told that we're really not supposed to get really close to them.
Okay.
All right. Fuck that. Fuck that. Love transcends title.
Misha kind of opens her mouth and then shuts it.
Like dead ass.
When Manevis says that, a whisper speaks up, and it's Jessamy. Indeed, love does trump title.
Boom, she fucking gets it. What up? Also, hey, I don't know you.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You haven't met Alice, I take it, right?
I met her one time. She was fucking with the tree. She seemed alright.
All right. Cool. Listen, You have control of the situation. I personally don't think it's ever wise to mix with them, if you know what I mean. But it's
When
your
you say-
life.
When you
Take
say
control.
when you say them, the Sluos squire that's standing around you just kind of tilts her head.
That's fine. I don't care. This is not like any secret that Misha feels this way. I'm pretty sure most commoners kind of understand.
Them?
She.
What's wrong with she?
Okay, I feel like that's
I
conversation.
feel like I'm not going to have this discussion here. That's what I feel
Yes.
like.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. You got it.
But I'll be happy to discuss it with you later.
Perhaps we could all discuss it over tea some other time when there are less of them present.
Hey,
Do I
I'm
know
not-
that? Do I know this person? Do I know that this person is a noble and part of the house?
She's very much displaying like
Ilunid colors.
the Ilunid like iconography. And if you've ever attended court, you know that she is the squire to Sebastian.
She would have no problem attending an open court because you got to keep abreast of what's going on in your neighborhood, you know. So yeah, I think Misha would have attended a court at some point. And so she'll kind of look at her and be like, "I'd be happy to speak with you, but I'm not certain what I'm willing to say."
I think you've said quite enough already.
I haven't given any details, have I? Although to be, I will say, to be fair, just out of, I'm so sorry to cut you off like 3 times. I didn't mean to. I was trying to stop and let you speak, and it's weird. but I will say that like the way that we were told is that if whatever someone's legacy is, it's whatever their court is, it's pretty evident within a few minutes of speaking to them. So it's pretty evident that Misha is not Seelie.
Well, that's fine. She doesn't seem to be bothered by that.
Okay.
You simply should be more careful, especially at an event such as this. Ear's much more alert than mine.
Well, the thing is, do you think that she want to marry or date us?
Want is an interesting word. A very, very interesting word. Good evening. And she turns and walks away.
Wait a minute, whoa, what the fuck's your name? I didn't catch your name, shit.
I've seen her.
She stops and turns her head, and for a Sluaw, she's attractive. She might be like an appearance 3.
Hey, you know I.
My name is Jessamy. A pleasure, Minerva. I'll be seeing you. And she walks away.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Oh.
No, people look and be like, I have this feeling we're going to be invited for tea, apparently.
Hey, I'm fucking down for tea. Drink the tea like a motherfucker. I've heard that saying.
Oh, God, is that still existing? Oh,
I'm keeping it alive, scrub. Come on.
Okay, so we've done Alice, Minerva, and Misha, so I'm just going to switch over to Amber and Maxine.
Logan, before we do anything like that, can I do a retroactive perception empathy to be like, why was he talking to me? Is it just because like he wanted to slum it and I got that approachable thing going on, or was it like I don't know?
Yeah. Cam.
All right, cool. Perception, empathy, and I don't know if my approachable will come into will lower my diff here or not.
Oh,
So I'll just do 6, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sorry. Ah, shit. I didn't mean to close that. Oh, well. Where's Discord? There it is. Yeah, okay.
And if, hang on, I have a specialty. If insight counts, that's 5.
Yes, it absolutely does.
Okay.
1 second. Are we friends on Facebook, Lily?
We should be, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to PM you something real quick.
Excellent. Whispers.
Hey, 5 successes is significant.
Puka's got an empathy.
I was like,
But yeah, as I'm getting this, she's gonna walk over to Maxine, who's peeling away from the group, and she'll slide up alongside her and be like, Congratulations. I've heard the good news.
There's good news?
Oh, I've heard I'm sorry. It must be horrible for you. I am so very sorry.
Well, I'm glad somebody understands. She gives like a friendly smile, but like glancing over her shoulder at the group she just left, feeling kind of exposed. How have you been? I'm sorry I haven't been around, Vixen. I just, I get so caught up in my own stupid things.
Oh no, you're basically a vigilante. You keep New York safe. I've been awful. Things have been, not exciting whatsoever. Same old, same old. I just talked. I just talked to the most interesting person. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, who is that?
It was the most polite man, Sir Carol. I don't know if you've heard of him. He is well renowned for being very, very kind, and he was very pleasant to speak with.
Yes, he is quite the social butterfly. she looks
What
around to see if he's like nearby.
Oh no. Strangely, yes.
Yes, did he have anything to say about anything?
All very delighted about the situation and seemed not dismissive of me whatsoever.
Oh, well, what a charming fellow. All the best to him.
Indeed. This probably isn't, this definitely isn't the place, but will I be hearing from you at any point about photo shoots, or is that not a thing anymore now that you are engaged?
Oh, so many stupid things. Get away from me.
It's quite all right, I understand. You're busy, you have to pick out a dress. Feel free to take me along, by the way. I've been told I have a good eye.
Maxine,
and of course, Vixen is...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, she was going to say Vixen is open at a very reduced cost if you would ever like to host your bachelorette party there.
With every word about her, air quotes, betrothal to Charles, like Maxine's face looks more and more miserable. She's coping with a lot at this moment.
Never mind about that then.
You know what? They said there were drinks. I was going to be responsible and keep it to a 6-drink limit. But I think I should go find perhaps a bottle of liquor.
As long as you alternate.
Would you care to? Well, I feel like I should defer to your expertise when it comes to the matter of potential imbibement. Drinking. Let's do it.
Yes, I completely support your efforts. I just would rather tomorrow morning be agreeable.
Well, I mean, you don't have to drink.
Of course not.
I'm quite used to making mistakes on my own.
That's no fun.
Nope.
The bartender seems like a horrible fellow. Let's head on over there.
After you. And she leads the way.
Okay, I'm gonna switch over to Dessa now. What is Miss Dessa?
Is the Count near the Queen, or is he off doing his own thing?
They're like relatively close to each other, but he's one second. But he's not like close enough to be like one of her attendants or anything.
She will head towards the Duke first.
Towards the Duke?
Not the Duke, the Count. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought of him as a duke for a moment.
All good.
Especially if he looks like he's done with. If he looks like he's busy with his baron still, she will skip him and go to the next step up and do something that's probably really horrible, but really kind at the same time.
He's he's not really doing anything with them. Their conversation just is kind of meandering. It's like
She will approach the count then.
Dessa, I thank you for coming.
Of course. I'm honored to be invited.
Everyone was invited, Dessa. It is a true tragedy what happened to the lady Iana.
It is. I only wish I could have acted sooner.
Well, that cannot be helped. What can I do for you?
I just wanted to... I'd heard that the Queen herself was close friends with her. I wanted to make sure that my condolences reached her.
Yes.
The loss of a dear friend strikes everyone.
Iana was very close to Queen Mab during the Accordance War. When the... forgive me, it's been a long day. When the Beltane massacre happened, Iana put down her sword and went to the commoner's side. She thought it was a true tragedy. Her death by cold iron is a strange sort of dark irony, I suppose.
It was brave on her part. They could have taken their vengeance out on her.
Yes, well...
I'd like to see that sort of...
You'd like to see what?
Trust being built again.
As would I, Dessa. As would I. I made a promise to your... I believe he's your friend at least, William. And I intend to uphold that promise. But first things first, we must move past this tragic situation.
Of course. Would I be allowed to give my condolences to the Queen myself, or shall I have you pass them along? As I'm sure many of the other commoners
You wish
their
to...
condolences as well.
You wish to address the Queen yourself.
I have no fear of such things.
At that, he actually begins to laugh a little bit, like kind of a very tired, dry laugh. You know what?
I know you're busy, so I do not wish to pile more on you.
Actually, I think the dear departed lady would have actually found that quite amusing. Please, by all means, approach the Queen. Should anything happen, I have your back, I promise you.
Wonderful.
And he just turns
now.
to watch the Queen.
Des is gonna approach the Queen, giving her waiting for her to be told that she can approach.
As you approach, you finally get past the blinding radiance that is Queen Mab and realize that she's old. You've never seen a she look this old. I mean, she's still beautiful, but she's old, and she is dressed like a dowager empress from neck to long trained voile black with fingerless gloves and tasteful jewelry. And you approach her and she turns her head to you.
She will give a very deep, respectful bow, head bowed and all that, until she's given signal that she can rise.
It's not a word that's ever said or a sound that's ever made, but you feel a stir in the air, almost as if a finger briefly twitches to indicate that you can rise.
And she will rise.
Your name?
Yes, Your Grand Excellency. I am Dessa Smith, Ophelia Pythias.
Some would call you either foolish or brave to approach me so. Which do you think you are?
I would be calling myself foolish if I thought that I would meet certain death, and that there was not purpose behind me approaching. I would call myself courageous, or tempting to do so. It all depends on the outcome, on what the world sees you.
So you're approaching me at a wake of my friend has purpose. And her tone, it's not angry, it's actually somewhat inquisitive.
Yes, Your Excellency.
And what might that purpose be?
I wished to ensure that my condolences were given to you. The loss of such a dear friend must weigh heavily on you.
Death always weighs heavily, my dear.
It does. Especially when it's of those who are closest to us.
I thank you. I thank you for your sentiment. It means quite a bit. Will you face repercussions for speaking to me? I am not a fool, Dessa Smith. I understand that the lines of tension are about to snap between commoner and noble. Are you crossing a line?
No, I'm removing a line, showing that we can interact and that the world will not end.
You know, I heard words much like that many, many years ago. It seems that the Concordian dream lives on. But for how many of you? And when she says for how many of you, her voice carries and everything falls silent. Does anyone wish to answer my question?
It carries for me, and that is the dream that I will continue to strive for.
She scans the crowd, and since you are my PCs, she makes eye contact with each one of you.
Oh.
Now,
Oh, that's good. This is a great time for that.
The queen addressed to the crowd.
Yeah, she like when she asked the crowd, does that dream live on for any of you? It's a question to everyone at the wake.
What was the dream?
Yeah, we don't know.
He's just confused by that. She wasn't listening to the queen. She was.
The commoners have gotten into trouble on their own in the side chat.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think the Puka should be answering a question given by Queen Mab. Like, I'm no expert. I'm just gonna maybe, I don't know, theorize that that's not the best idea.
But she asked if the Concordian dream was still alive to any of you.
Fuck it. Maneva has the balls. Maneva kind of slides on out, stands up, kneels to the queen, and says, Your Majesty, I do not believe that I would be a changeling for very long if I did not believe in an accordion dream to some. Then I do, at the bottom of my heart, believe that she and the other commoner kiths can find a way to coexist without the friction that has divided us for so long.
And she nods her head to you and continues scanning until she locks eyes with each one of you. Whoever wants to go next.
I'm feeling pretty certain that Misha's eyes aren't connecting very well at the moment because she's kind of leaning forward on a chair and swaying a bit due to alcohol consumption.
Charles will, at a moment when she finally meets his eyes, there's a moment of like own peril and stuff, but something deep within him keeps his mind. He is still the keeper of the diamond word. He will go forward. And despite whatever glare of him making him feel smaller than small, for she is so much more than him now, he will still be there before her, bright and shining, for the truth he holds within himself, and he kneels down and bows to her. O first of the dreaming, midwife of us all, Your Majesty.
Yes.
I am Kararis, keeper of the Diamond Word. Squire Darion. I was once more than this, I'm sure. Even with your nose, with your eyes upon me, you see me as a reflection of myself. But even now, during my time, having been once in the dreaming and recently brought here, I believed in an equality, in a coexistence between all stations of life, a great equalizer that made us all one and the same. I believe in a Concordian dream, but I was cast out because I believed such things. And so you see me here, a victim, for standing up for a dream so beautiful that others would see it snuffed out.
Interesting. I understand that you are the squire to the knight of my dear departed friend.
That is correct. I am Sir Carol's squire.
I've heard about you. And that's all she says. Before, does anyone else want to speak up?
Yeah, I'll roll a willpower. I'll spend a willpower point to try and even tell the truth.
Okay, do it.
I'm gonna
I
roll
made an
willpower to
attempt.
not speak.
I made an attempt. I failed. I am not speaking.
Let me see what my willpower is. That would be
Okay.
useful. Because as Little Miss, at least slightly hammered over here, I think willpower will make sense to not do the dumb.
So I spend one and roll 4, right?
5.
Let's see.
You actually you roll willpower diff 8 first, and then you spend the willpower.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. So,
If I choose to speak, I'm sorry. If I choose to speak, since I got 2 successes on my little willpower roll that I gave myself, is that good enough that I can actually not just say a whole bunch of stupid unless I want to?
Repeat that again for me. Sorry.
I gave myself a willpower roll because she is, again, I failed my stamina roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 successes means I was going to take it. That means I don't have to speak up and do the dumb.
Oh,
but
no. If you succeed, you're fine.
Okay, but if I want to say something, then I don't have to sound stupid, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's checking. Pondering. By all means, go first.
Okay. I succeeded. Yay, me.
Jesus Christ, you did. Okay.
Yeah. Which is much better than the last time I tried this. Maxine puts down her bottle of swill since she couldn't really quite figure out how to open it and stands up. The dream, I believe, is within all of us, but I can only speak for myself. And I will say that within me, the dream lives as a hope for forgiveness and justice and unity. And she gives a bow, keeping it short and sweet before she says something stupid.
Mav just slightly nods her head before. Does anyone else want to speak up?
Alice does.
Okay. Her eyes fall to Alice.
She takes a deep breath. Lacking any etiquette, she just kind of stands there and speaks. Dreams. What is a dream? It's something within all of us. Concordia's dream is just one of hope, people coming together. And while there are people fighting and people who don't like the current system or people who see issues at play, I still have hope. And as long as there's at least one person who has hope in it, one person who believes in the dream at all, the dream's never dead. So, yes, I believe in the dream. And I believe that it's possible to bring it out. It's no dream is impossible. No dream is too large. No dream isn't worth pursuing.
She tilts her head a little bit at thinking, and then looks to anyone else that wants to speak. You don't have to. There's no requirement for that. Okay.
I could be quite content with Maxine speaking for me. I just am behind her, nodding in agreement. Since speaking is a bad idea.
Lisa's trying not to fall over. She's trying not to fall over.
It becomes very clear that no one else is going to speak up, including the she. And she looks around. She like meets the gaze of of the Count, and he just kind of like lowers his head. You get the vibe. There's more to that than, but he doesn't say anything. And she looks like she's getting a little bit pissed, like Queen Mab's getting angry. Before Sebastian steps up, and it's almost as if the light falls on him. And he looks at Queen Mab straight in the eyes, his shoulders back, and simply says, "The dream is not dead. It has been proven to you. Belief doesn't have to be spoken aloud." And he bows to her, turns, and leaves.
It has been believed to be what now?
Belief doesn't have to be belief. Oh, what did I just say? I'm sorry.
Belief doesn't have to be spoken. It has been proven to you already. Is essentially what he said.
Okay, he mic dropped.
Alice looks like she wants to go after him to see what's wrong.
Misha looks like she's biting her tongue a little bit.
And
Charles is staying where he is because he's not getting dismissed until she dismisses him.
Speaking of that, when Sebastian finally leaves the Trot and goes back into the Freehold proper, she smiles a little bit. A very unreadable smile. You're welcome to roll a very difficult perception empathy roll.
Hell yeah.
What is that? Perception empathy, you say?
Perception empathy, yes.
Could I roll perception? Could I roll perception psychology instead, or just
I got one success. It's a 10.
Yeah, you can.
What's the difficulty?
9. You can roll perception psychology. Perception psychology is going to be an 8.
Okay.
Let's get.
I don't know if my thing makes it easier or not.
Damn. Straight fail.
I botched.
I also fail.
Sometimes it's wise not to roll.
So,
no successes.
Nope.
So you're convinced that he basically declared war on Queen Mab. You are convinced. Nothing will dissuade you from that. You believe war is coming. Happy birthday, Mazel Tov. It's a girl. For those of you with a success, everyone just played into her hand. That is exactly what she wanted to see. And after she smiles, she leans and whispers to one of her.
Do me
whispers to one of her.
do me what I'm so sorry. Do me what Sebastian said or what we all did?
What everyone said. Sebastian especially, but what everyone said.
Okay.
And she leans into her attendant, whispers something, and then she stands, walks to the body, rests her hand on the hand of Lady Iana. A single perfect tear rolls down her cheek, and she leaves. And at that point, we're going to go back to Charles because it's time for his little scene, then we're going to start wrapping up.
So at that moment, having been skewered by the eyes and potency of Mab and to come out the other side completely unscathed, Charles is feeling pretty good about his life right now.
Until Sir Carol walks and stands right next to you. Squire.
Sir Knight.
What are you up to?
Well, I was about to break off a marriage.
What marriage?
Oh, the one you told me that I wasn't going to be doing. Or that anyone was doing. And I'm just beaming at him brilliantly, and like, I don't give a shit.
You're sleeping in the stables tonight for that.
Ooh, the stables.
He cuffs your ear.
You don't want to do that again, sir.
You will break your oath then, Squire. Behave.
Stables it is then. But
now explain to me this marriage that you'll be calling off.
Oh, I thought you knew already. But if that's the case then, see, Sir Carol, some people have gotten the impression of that what we have, I said as I glanced towards Maxine, seems to be more than what you had. After all, you gave me a ring to wear, and people have made certain implications.
He holds his hand up. Stop. I gave you a ring to hold, not to wear.
But I am holding it in my hand for all to see. Now, Sir Carol, I have not told them what the promise is. But I have not, because that is not for them to know.
That ring was not yours to wear. It was yours to hold, Charles.
But I am holding it. You seem to be I think we're a bit have a bit of a misconception about what's holding and wearing. For it is on my hand, and the hand does hold.
You are being purposely obtuse, and I do not like it.
Ooh.
So how are you going to fix this situation? I cannot have the young Maxine to appear tarnished for what I have planned.
Oh, don't worry. There won't be she won't be tarnished whatsoever. I will be very gentle.
If you do anything to hurt her, Charles, I will slit your throat myself.
I will not lay a single hand on her, Sir Carol.
Said if you do anything to hurt her, Charles.
You have heard what I said.
And you have heard what I've said. She will be marrying the young Baron and solidifying a sort of peace between the commoners and the nobles.
See, that is exactly what I was going to tell her, Sir Carol. The fact that you're bringing this to me like I don't understand the ways of this situation is, well, I understand your concern, but now that the message has been spelled very clearly for me, I will go ahead and tell her right away. By your leave, of course.
Should you do anything like this again, Charles, I will contact Queen Mab personally to see to you.
Ooh. I look forward to that conversation, if it comes to that.
Do not make an enemy of me, Charles. It won't end well for you. And with that, he turns and walks away, not even letting you respond.
What a beautiful enemy you'll be.
Oh, fucking ass. Yes.
I lick a crimson red tongue fresh as spilt blood right across the front of my teeth. Oh, Sir Carol, what a beautiful enemy you'll be. I'll show you how the game's really played. But he turns and he heads over to Maxine, and his face completely drops. One purely tragic. And he comes over and he reaches out to take Maxine's hands gently. Very, very gently.
Amber's still there. She's
Oh, yes. It's
she's
perfect.
watching.
Maxine,
Yes.
I am so, so sorry. I have the most grievous and most terrible news to tell you.
I see.
Please promise me one thing.
No.
That. Oh, you wound me so terribly.
Not
Dear
yet.
Maxine, we are friends, the bestest of friends, and will always remain so, yes?
She says nothing.
Yes?
Are we?
I would love to think that we are. And I will hope that the news I give you will not tarnish that. For you see, it has been by the command that I can no longer wed you. This will be our annulment, I'm afraid. But I have nothing but the brightest and most wondrous of news for you. For you will be upgrading from a lowly squire such as myself and become a baron's wife.
The look on Maxine's face isn't of shock or sadness, but fury.
And that is where we're going to end this scene.
Oh, no, baby. This is not where you end the scene. She's going to make a scene. Buckle in.
Oh, yes. I'm ready.
Yes.
Carol, give me.
Yes.
Maxine takes the ring Charles gave her and flings it across the room. Looks at him. Wait, did he actually say she's marrying somebody else?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I will not be traded like some whore. Ask for me tomorrow and you will find a grave hair, she says, and storms out of the room.
See you tomorrow at work.
You run after her.
Yeah, Misha would try to follow her, even though she's feeling pretty crappy at this point.
I think Maneva wrong too.
If Maneva's going, she'll just try to latch onto Maneva's arm for balance, and they can kind of stumble out.
Yeah, she got you.
Okay.
Alice is using this as the perfect cover to figure out where Sebastian went off to, because she wants to figure out what's going on with all of this. You guys just gave her the perfect smoke screen.
We can talk about that later. I need to actually get to bed because I do have work tomorrow at like 10 a.m.
For sure.
And this was just a 2-hour scene that I did not realize was going to go this long. So
yeah, Charles picks up the ring in his hand, the one she's cast off, and he just smiles at it. It's all coming tumbling, crumbling down. What beauty.
Okay, and I think that's where we're going to end the scene, guys.